The Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com.
What's up? This is the Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Hoppy.
And I'm Ryan Stuppridge.
Call the show and get on the air. Talk to us live. 630-403-5200. That is 630-403-5200. And Ryan, where are you found online on Twitter so people can tweet at you live if they're too shy to call in?
You can follow me on Twitter at Ryan Stuppridge, Stuprich.
And I'm at Hoppy Radio 893. All right, enough of the shenanigans. On the phone line, he is a freelancer. Gabe Salgado is on the line. What's up, Gabe?
Gentlemen, it's Friday.
Yes, and we are pumped that it is the end of the week. How has everything been, my man?
Busy as always. You know, sports is a never-ending business.
Right. Yes, it is. And what was your take as the Blackhawks lost Game 2 to the Los Angeles Kings?
Well, you know, obviously it was a complete defensive breakdown. There were some fundamental errors made, especially on that goal or that shot that the Blackhawks thought went out of play and it actually just rolled off the top of the glass and back on the ice. That gave the Kings a goal because the defense just, paused for a minute. And then, of course, the offense just couldn't get anything going, and the Blackhawks need to change that if they're going to win Game 3 tomorrow night.
What do you think the Hawks need to do exactly to get back on track for that Game 3 in Los Angeles?
They definitely got to be more sound on defense, and they got to give Corey Crawford more support in front of the net, because if the defense isn't giving them the support, Crawford's going to be left on an island. They also need to be more consistent on offense, and they definitely need more production from their star players. Kane, Taves, Hossa. Those guys just haven't really been producing as well as you'd like them to, so those guys definitely need to step it up.
What do Kane and Taves need to do to get back in the game and get back in the zone?
They need to start scoring more goals. They need to start handing out more assists. They need to basically just pick it up on the points level. They got to be more consistent, and they got to be willing to take more chances as far as, taking shots and, trying to weave their way through the Kings' defensive zone.
And now, Gabe, going back to Game 2, what went wrong during that third period? I mean, the game was tied, and then they lose 6-2. What the hell happened?
Like I said, just a complete defensive breakdown. They couldn't keep up with the Kings' offense, and, more often than not, Corey Crawford was left out there, by himself trying, he's not going to be able to stop every shot. There's no question about that. And, the Blackhawks, like I said, they just couldn't hold it down on the defensive end, and the penalties, just stupid penalties that really cost them dearly. So those were probably the biggest problems that they had in that third period.
Do you think that with Andrew Shaw back in the lineup that Coach Q will try to have him on the ice more, or do you think they'll sort of ease him back into this?
I think that they'll probably ease him back into it, considering, the large amount of time that they missed. I know that, they didn't specify the type of injury that he had, but, considering he's been out for about a good 3-4 weeks, obviously was something significant. So, I as much as I'd like him to just go full throttle and give this team the boost that they need, I think they're going to be cautious and ease him back into things so he doesn't get injured again.
Yeah, and I also agree with that. And we're talking with Gabe Salgado here on SportsTownChicago.com on the Friday Sports Riot. And do you think that Corey Crawford can have a good game in this Game 3, or do you think the Kings are going to try to go at him fast and try to score some easy goals?
I mean, the Kings are always going to try to score easy goals. I mean, that's the object of the game.
Right.
But I think if Corey Crawford can, have more defensive support in front of him, it'll be a lot easier for him and take some pressure off of him. But if the Blackhawks are absent on defense again, it's going to be another long night.
How nervous do you think the Hawks are after giving up 5 goals in the third period? Do you think this is like messing with their mind, or will they fight through it and win Game 3?
If they are nervous, they're definitely not showing it. The Blackhawks have always been a poised and composed team. If things do get to them, they don't let the media know about it. They don't let the fans know about it. I definitely think that they're going to have some motivation heading into tomorrow night's game, and hopefully that'll help them out. But as far as whether or not it's in their heads, who knows? Obviously, Coach Quinville was upset. He said so in his press conference yesterday. But as far as the rest of the team, I think they've done a pretty good job of, keeping it level-headed or at least appearing that way.
Now, who do you see winning Game 3, and how will this go down, Gabe?
I think that the Blackhawks will realize that, they need to fine-tune some things fundamentally. And I think, they need to be more aggressive on offense. And if they can do all that, I think they'll be able to squeeze out a victory here.
And now let's talk about soccer. I know you wanted to talk a little bit about this. And on Landon Donovan, as he didn't make that USA team for this upcoming summer.
As much as I respect, Coach Klinsmann for the way that he's improved this team and, he's put this team in the best position to win a World Cup in the history of the program, I think, what really set him off about Landon Donovan was when Donovan took that leave of absence from the team. You got to remember, Landon Donovan's been playing with Team USA for about a decade, somewhere close to that at least.
Right.
And he played in he played in 3 World Cups. He's really between that and the LA Galaxy, and I think he might have even played a couple of European games if I'm not mistaken. And he just needed a break. Landon Donovan's 32 years old, and with the type of condition that you need to be in to play soccer, I just think that at this point, it's starting to take a toll on his body, and he just needed a break.
Now, Gabe, I want to get your take on this. Do you think Landon came into camp a bit cocky or with an ego on his back, thinking since he's Landon Donovan that he was just going to automatically make the team?
Well, when he returned to practice with the national team, he did say that he knew he was going to have to earn his roster spot back, and he knew that it wasn't a guarantee, especially with the new coach on board. But, considering all he's done for the program, for years, when you think U.S. soccer, you think Landon Donovan, and for the longest time, Landon Donovan was the only American soccer player that anybody could name off the top of their head.
Right.
Considering all the records that he holds for Team USA, it just disappoints me that, Coach Klinsmann didn't respect that a little more. I understand he needs to do what he needs to do for the team, but at the same time, the World Cup without Landon Donovan just doesn't sound right to me.
There are some Chicago Fire fans that are so mad that Ryan McGee didn't make the team. What is your take, Gabe? Because I don't think he should have made the team.
Well, Mike McGee, as good of a player as he is, he just didn't really prove himself, but at the same time, he wasn't given a whole lot of playing time either. Whatever limited reps he was given in practice and training sessions was really all he had. But, Mike McGee's a young player, and, he'll get more opportunities to play with the national team. So I think he just has to, work a little harder and prove himself a little bit more.
Okay, Gabe, before we let you go, where can people find your work online and on the radio?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Gabe Salgado82, and actually I'm no longer with Rivet. I departed from there recently, but you guys can follow me on Twitter and check out my writing, and also when I'm with you guys and other shows on Sportstown Chicago every week is where you can hear me. But at Gabe Salgado82 on Twitter is the best place to find my articles.
Well, Gabe, we love to have you on the show, and this has been fun, so have a good weekend, my man. And here's to hoping that the Hawks win Game 3 against the Kings.
Definitely, guys. Have a good weekend.
Thanks.
Thank you, Gabe. And that was Gabe Salgado. He is a freelancer, and you can check him out Thursdays with Fahey and Shivari, and Thursday nights with the Sport Renegades. So that is Thursdays with Fahey and Shivari between 10 and 2, and with the Sport Renegades between 8 to 10. What was your take on some of the things that Gabe Salgado said?
Well, going back to his Hawks stuff, I think he made some really good points where, you're going to have to ease, because I asked him the question, do you think they'll ease Andrew Shaw back in, or will he just go right back in? But I think it's definitely the right move to ease him in, me and Gabe, and we all sort of agree on that it's probably best to ease him back in, because you don't want him to do those stupid penalties that he did that got him in trouble in the first place.
No, you don't.
Coming up, the Friday Sports Riot.
Ryan, coming up on the Friday Sports Riot.
We will have at 4:30, we will have Gravy, who always talks about the White Sox with us.
Hell yeah.
And baseball in general, because we'll talk about Derek Jeter and stuff, and we'll ask him what he thinks about Derek Jeter, one of the greatest players of all time, probably greatest shortstop of all time.
And
course.
You can check out Gravy on Hot 105.3 FM, and he is the host of the top-rated Gravy and Rachel in the Morning Show on Hot 105.3 FM up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Get the app in the app shop. All right, we will be right back on the Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com. Hang on.
Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com.